Slide 1, Introduction. Initsys is a software company based in London, United Kingdom. We develop and sell incident control, process following, and risk management software. The flagship product is Merlin Neon Edition, a risk and crisis management planning tool that helps organizations manage compliance, conduct audits, and manage incidents and emergencies. Merlin Neon Edition is used to turn paper risk plans into actionable scripts, and it provides real-time reports and dashboards to give an overview of incidents and return to normality forecasts. Initsys also offers a range of software products, including Merlin Crisis Manager. This group of functions allows the construction of profiles from paper scripts or workflow. A profile is more than simply a way to follow a process. It can make calls, send SMS texts, instructs and examine data to evaluate the threat an incident might pose to the business. Merlin Spectrum. A video management tool which includes machine learning. It examines CCTV triggered by environmental issues and the clutter of equipment-generated alarms. Spectrum is compatible with most CCTV systems and can provide a secondary protection layer for internal networks from so-called bad actors trying to use security systems to infiltrate. Many organizations use Merlin Neon, including government agencies, businesses, and educational institutions. We have a strong track record of helping organizations to improve their incident, process, and risk management. Here are some of the benefits of using Initsys software. Reduced risk. Merlin Neon Edition can help organizations reduce their risk of incidents by providing a tool that enables the build of scripts and procedures. These are known as profiles. Users follow these to successful conclusions. You'll learn more about profiles as we continue. Improved incident response. Merlin Neon Edition can help organizations to respond to incidents more quickly and effectively. Improved compliance. Neon can help organizations improve their compliance by providing tools to manage requirements. For example, the construction of simple profiles allows users to complete audits as well as the now necessary, frequent compliance checking, things such as safety equipment, means of escape and warning systems. Increased effectiveness. Merlin Neon Edition can help organizations to be more effective by giving staff, volunteers and guests tools with immediate incident triggering capability. We have several specialized tools available. Crisis Input Terminals. These are fixed-position terminals installed at critical points that allow the injection of incidents into the Merlin Neon system, for example, at a customer reception where people can report and from where personnel can instigate predetermined plans. Risk Manager application provides the same features as Crisis Input but in a mobile format. The design of the Risk Manager is for the responsible person in an area to complete regular compliance checks, audits and pre-audit, before official inspection, and communicate and manage tasks as well as generate incident and crisis warnings. The Responder application is given to those that respond to incidents. It allows feedback sent to Merlin Neon as well as images and recordings. It includes features such as a lone worker and a watching facility. Protector application is for lone workers. It monitors them and instigates a call for assistance if they get in trouble. A feature called Watch Me automatically monitors their location until they once again reach a safe place. Watch Me uses a timer to warn response teams if the person hasn't appeared safely. Slide 2, Introducing Profiles. Unlike traditional risk management tools, where workflows are generally predetermined and slightly alterable, we provide the most flexible way to determine risk and deal with risk-biased incidents when they happen. The most important part of this is the profile. Construction of the profile, more on how to do this later, is achieved by first looking at the trigger, which makes the profile begin. A trigger can be an electronic signal, such as a fire alarm, a human pressing a button on the Risk Manager app, or a receptionist pressing a crisis input terminal input. Each is a channel. We call them CHAN type. Slide 3, Channels. The definition of channels in the ISO standard 22300 is a route to a trigger. The channel's creation is either by code, from an API or a button created by the tools provided in Merlin Neon. Mainly in the risk sector, the channel will be a button initiated by a human. However, a channel may be triggered by timed events, such as time to do an audit or even the failure to do an audit within the timescale required. Often it is an electronic signal, possibly a deviation from a route set in a tracking device like those installed in vehicles or given to you and me, or, indeed, from our mobile telephone. There are so many ways to set up a channel, we cannot define them here, but suffice it to say, It is even possible to have a CHAN type that will look for an incoming telephone call to a secret number and have that trigger the profile. Slide 4, Profiles. Channels trigger profiles. More than one channel can trigger the same profile. Like an electronic alarm created by a machine, but that first was noticed by a human. We can trigger a profile from another profile. We call it forking, like taking a fork in the road. For example, we change track depending on the answer to a question. A profile is a sequence of tasks. It is more than a workflow because it includes things that Merlin does itself. Profiles comprise two elements: things that are processed by the administration layer of the system or by the system itself, and things you want the user to do. Generally, the first layer completes in the MRE, the Merlin rules engine. The second layer completes in the more flexible NMRE, yes, you guessed it, the new Merlin rules engine. Profiles always return to MRE when it needs advanced human assistance, like a trained control room or help desk operative. We have had the MRE for quite a while. The NMRE is relatively recent, completed in 2021. It is the most flexible rules generator available. The two should be distinctly noted for their differences. Classification of profiles is easy. They are of three types. The first is as global. Every location in your estate will use it. This is the most common. Or classified as local. Only this location will use it. Or special. A temporary profile may be used while a building is under refurbishment, or even while another incident is happening. Building a profile is a case of picking the object from the catalog, what you want to do next, and then joining it to those that came before. For example, you might want to ask a question and then, depending on the answer, do something: make a call, send an SMS, ask another question, or even page everyone in a particular group or select groups. Profiles lead to a resolution. Depending on your settings, a human sometimes has to resolve the profile, or Merlin Neon may do it. It all depends on how the profile completes or how you tell it you want to end. For example, your risk management team can be satisfied with a compliance check without knowing if it has been completed because Neon will monitor that. But does undoubtedly need to know if it still needs to be completed, and Neon will tell you that, after it has warned the person nominated to do the checking. If that is what you set Merlin Neon to do. Profiles make creating workflows easy and flexible. Many already created will be near or have the flow you need to complete everyday tasks. Please note, if you have taken advantage of the Crown Commercial Framework Agreement, Initsys Help Desk will construct the profiles for you. Slide 5, Location. Channels and profiles are specific to a location, a building, an open space, a street, or even a virtual space. We can also tie a location to a site type, which is a style of building, for example, a church, a shop, a restaurant, or a cinema. Setting the site type makes things easier when you want to duplicate the type of profile you most commonly see in places like that. These can be global, that is, for that particular type of incident or risk, and quickly transferred as you add new locations. But as described above, the location can have a slightly altered profile or an alternative between two scheduled dates. It can also have specific profiles for risks that do not appear elsewhere, for example, COSH risks and safety data sheets. The flexibility of our system is bounded only by you. Recorded against a location as primary critical data from every aspect of incidents and audits enables you and the system to filter reports based on where you need them. Slide 6, User. We associate users with groups and groups related to locations. The number and type of contact groups is unlimited. We set users' ability to control a profile by selecting the template, a group of profiles, or the profile that the user can see when using the system or app. Options also exist to see the user's current position geographically using tracking devices or from the location data gathered by the apps. User data is encrypted, and RIDDOR reports are anonymized so only admin-level personnel can access the injured person's name. We can apply this technique to any other personnel issues and unique forms you want to construct, like training records and general notes. Slide 7, Risk Matrix. The risk matrix is a good starting point for evaluating your threats and weaknesses in a location. Starting with the most important and moving to those infrequently seen but with more significant consequences. The risk threat system in Merlin, some of our users call it the threat manager, allows the risk owner to set a priority of the risk between 0 and 500. The system then takes that normal running level and adjusts it upwards if users miss audits or compliance checks. The risk level is used similarly to a traditional 5x5 matrix, except with much more granularity, often required in an enterprise incident and risk system. As the number of risks you identify increases and the types and design of profiles to deal with incidents matures, this becomes more important. Other factors, such as common defects in equipment related to a profile found at different locations, can affect the threat level and instigate a maintenance warning for the devices recorded in the asset register. You may use the asset register inbuilt into Merlin Neon, or these warnings can be sent to a third-party application used to control assets. This process would be controlled by a profile explicitly built to pass data between applications that can be called anywhere in any other profile. Users can request the data from the risk matrix displayed in many ways. No one user is the same. It is, therefore, one of the first reports we shall produce. Slide 8. Risk Manager. Risk Manager is an application for Apple and Android, as well as a Windows tablet app, and is suitable for Linux-based devices. The Initsys Risk Manager application empowers your staff to be an effective risk team, reporting issues to other teams such as maintenance and responders, proving that systems are being checked and providing an easy way to access pre-formatted plans. The Risk Manager app connects to Initsys DarkARX. The robot automatically records log entries, performs communication tasks, and provides warnings and interfaces to our statistical AI and machine learning algorithms. The Risk Manager app is as simple as possible to use. Logging in uses a proprietary multi-factor authentication. If no change of device is detected and the user has logged into their device, they will remain connected to the Initsys DarkARX system. Here is a screen description for the Risk Manager app. The information fields, open events, profiles, and outstanding tasks are displayed here. Select by choosing one option. The Risk Manager app meets the recommendations in Google's Material Design Guidelines or Apple's Human Interface Guidelines. Compliance checks are accessible with the Risk Manager app using QR codes and scanning them when physically checking the asset, listing any defects as you go. If the QR code has not been seen, the asset register will prompt for category and asset details to be completed. Buttons form the primary interface between the user and the service. Suppose the user is associated with multiple locations. In that case, they will be asked to confirm which one they wish to work on. If geolocation is set and the user is within a specific radius, the device will prompt the user to confirm their location. Of course, if the user is only registered to one location, the application will jump straight to choices. Selecting a button from those available and pressing it begins the sequence of instructions. These can include obtaining data, sending messages, voice, SMS, and email are available, answering questions and getting advice. Slide 9. Using forms. Forms making is traditionally a complicated process, requiring programming and the expertise of business data analysts. Forms are created in our Webflow interface and optionally via a third-party application called Typeforms, using its API. This choice enables forms in Merlin Neon Edition, the applications, and via intranet pages and extranets. One aspect of this is that forms now become one of the most straightforward aspects of the project. Producing forms in this way enables primary data to be collected and analyzed in profiles and reports. Slide 10. Dealing with incidents. Naturally, any risk management system aims to reduce the number of incidents by dialing out things that can result in injury, damage, and reputation. However, sometimes incidents do happen, and they need to be dealt with. The system administrator has tools to do this. These can be presented in a help desk environment or at the desk of risk managers. Only one person may handle the incident at a time, yet others may add to the log and will, of course, be detailed to complete tasks in the profiles associated with the incident. This lead person can unlock the incident to allow others to take responsibility. Incidents can be parked, allowing others to have an input, or hidden for a predetermined period to enable investigations to be completed. Slide 11. Incidents, risks, and queues. Returning briefly to the risk matrix, we should discuss prioritizing tasks and incidents because it is essential. Any enterprise risk management system needs to have compliance and risk audits, but equally important is incident management, what to do when plans fail. Many things can go wrong when an incident occurs, and we need to deal with these in priority order. That is one reason why profiles within profiles are so important. Using automated alerting for different departments is a crucial part of Merlin Neon. Still, sometimes you need to alert departments, which only sometimes form a response. For example, someone could report a near miss related to a security device, let's say, a door that failed to lock. This failure must pass to the security team. Having them as a group could be helpful. Or you could fully integrate the security department into your risk profiles. Or, just as importantly, Inform the public relations team early enough when an incident occurs so they can adequately handle queries from the press. This information is vital in maintaining a reputation because a PR person's last need is a reporter telling them of an incident. Merlin Neon will prioritize incidents and alerts and can be set with options that allow that information to flow between departments. Slide 12, Mapping. Merlin Neon Edition includes a strong mapping capability. This graphical layer helps display where an incident occurred, which device failed to be compliance checked, or which building failed an audit. Maps are imported into the system from worldwide to locally and layered with drillable capability. Device locations are plotted using lat-long or manually positioned. Slide 13, Reporting. Business information reporting is vital in risk management because it provides a regular mechanism to direct updates to key stakeholders, ensuring the correct information becomes available to the right people at the right level and time. At a minimum, delivery is to enterprise risk management teams quarterly to support an ongoing information narrative. Risk reporting is critical to the risk management framework, providing insight and confidence to internal and external stakeholders. Good risk reporting offers an integrated perspective, which draws on and complements planning and performance frameworks and insights in assuring the risk management approach's effectiveness, highlighting areas where intervention is required. Initsys Merlin Neon Edition data can be gathered and utilized in any business information platform, including QuickSight and Google Looker Studio. Slide 14, Dashboards. Last but not least, dashboards are vital in risk management because they provide an overview of an organization's various risks and the measures taken to mitigate them. They can help managers and stakeholders to connect the pieces of the risk management puzzle, understand the risk versus reward proposition, and make more risk-informed decisions. Initsys uses the open-source dashboard manager Grafana to produce virtually any type of dashboard. And Merlin Neon Edition has some tricks, creating incident queue dashboards, alongside the mapping capability, and queues specific to every kind of channel and profile and tuned to locations, useful where large buildings have their own localized risk management but report to a central resource. This presentation has been built using AI, the responses and slides selected from the Initsys portfolio and matched to words and narratives found in their manuals and documentation. My name is Arthur, and I am an AWS Neural Voice. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any other questions.